Fans shocked at Blake Shelton's voice and surprise appearance. Blake Shelton made a surprise appearance that left his fans in shock over his voice. Did he sound good or bad? Keep reading for all the details and listen to the acoustic performance. Blake Shelton's American Music Awards debut marred by problems. Blake Shelton is a well-established singer. He's won 3 American Music Awards. Despite being around for over a decade, he never performed on stage at the AMAs until this week. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. He took the stage to perform the patriotic song Stay Country or Da Tryin' off his latest album. He released for recreational use only earlier this month. While the first single off the album was a hit, the album performed poorly compared to his previous releases. Blake Shelton's wife, Gwen Stefani, was on hand at the AMAs to introduce her husband before he took the stage. The country crooner sang his heart out. He honored Memorial Day with an American flag as the backdrop and a red, white, and blue lapel pin. But there was just one problem: no one could hear it. The sound cut out of the televised performance, leaving viewers confused and frustrated. They took to social media to complain about the sound issues. But another recent audience heard Blake Shelton loud and clear. Blake Shelton shocks with surprise appearance. The Happy Anywhere singer is one of many country artists with a bar in Nashville, Tennessee. But the first of Blake Shelton's Ole Red restaurants opened in his hometown of Tishomingo, Oklahoma, in 2017. The restaurant is named after the singer's 2001 hit song Ole Red. A restaurant in Nashville opened in 2018. Ole Red has 6 locations in total. In addition to the one in downtown Nashville, there is also one in Gatlinburg, the Nashville Airport, and Orlando, Florida. The restaurant empire expanded to Las Vegas last year with the opening of the 6th Ole Red. Blake Shelton famously pops up at various Ole Red restaurants without notice. Lucky fans at the Las Vegas location were shocked when the singer took the stage to perform an acoustic version of the song Texas from his new album. What fans thought? Blake Shelton sat on a stool in the middle of the stage in a laid-back button-up shirt, jeans, and a baseball cap. The surprise performance was posted on his official Instagram. His fans couldn't get enough of the singer's voice. Nashville, TN. When Blake Shelton steps on a stage, fans expect big boots, a bigger smile, and a voice like warm southern honey. But when he made an unannounced appearance last night at the Grand Ole Opry, what fans heard left them stunned, and for many, speechless. Y'all ready for a surprise? The announcer teased as stage lights dimmed and a hush fell over the crowd. Moments later, the familiar twang of a guitar cut through the silence, and from the shadows emerged none other than country music's favorite cowboy himself, Blake Shelton. But this wasn't just another live performance. Something was different. Something was off. Or maybe something was new. A voice, but not that voice. As the first lines of God's Country rang out, fans were immediately struck, not by the volume, not by the pitch, but by the tone of Shelton's voice. It was softer, raspy, a bit darker than his usual bright and booming baritone. He didn't sound like himself, said Sarah Kim, a lifelong fan who drove from Memphis just to visit the Opry. At first, I thought maybe he had a cold or was losing his voice. But then it kept going, and it felt intentional. Social media blew up within seconds. Clips of the performance, tagged with #BlakeShelton, #OprySurprise, and eventually #BlakeNewVoice, began flooding TikTok and Instagram. He sounds like a cross between Chris Stapleton and Tom Waits. One fan posted, "Is this a new era of Blake?" Wrote another. Others were more confused than excited. What happened to his voice? One tweet read with a shaky video of Shelton performing Austin in the new, lower tone. This isn't the guy I've been listening to since high school. What actually happened? Within hours, speculation mounted. Some theorized that Shelton had undergone vocal cord surgery, while others suspected he was experimenting with a new singing style. A few thought the sound system was to blame. But perhaps the most popular and wildest theory came from Reddit, that Shelton had been method acting for an upcoming film role and had trained his voice accordingly. The truth, according to Shelton's team, it's a little more personal than that. I've been doing some soul searching. Later that evening, Shelton took to Instagram Live to address the stir his performance caused. "I didn't mean to freak y'all out," he said, grinning through the screen. "But I guess I kinda did, huh?" He leaned into the camera, visibly more introspective than usual. I've been doing some soul searching these past couple years. Stepping back from the voice gave me a lot of time to think about where I'm headed, musically, personally, spiritually. And I realize I've been playing it safe for a long time. Shelton, who turned 49 this year, admitted he's been influenced recently by a return to his roots, listening to old records from Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard, and even Johnny Cash. Those guys sang like they had gravel in their lungs and a story on their backs. I wanted to feel that again. I wanted to sound like that. Fans divided, but intrigued. The country community hasn't seen such division since Taylor Swift went pop. While many longtime listeners expressed concern or disapproval at the change in vocal tone, others applauded the boldness. "This is what legends do," said Chris Young, fellow country singer and friend of Shelton. "They evolve. They don't sit still." I respect the hell out of Blake for shaking things up. The hashtags began to shift by morning. Ash Blake and Eura, Ash Gravel Shelton, Ash Reinvented Blake. Younger fans seemed especially intrigued. A wave of TikTok creators used clips from the Opry performance to soundtrack moody montages and mashups. One viral video paired his haunting rendition of Ole Red with black and white footage of thunderstorms rolling over the Texas plains. "I've never even been into Blake Shelton before this," one user commented. "But this is fire. A preview of what's to come." Rumors are swirling now that Shelton's surprise performance was more than just a one-off. Some believe it was a soft launch for a new album, perhaps one that leans heavier into outlaw country, Americana, or even blues. "We've heard whisperings," said a source close to Warner Music Nashville. "There's definitely something cooking behind the scenes." Shelton hasn't confirmed anything officially, but during the live stream, he dropped a major hint. "Y'all might want to stick around this summer. I've got something I think you're gonna want to hear. Just don't expect it to sound like the old stuff." His longtime producer, Scott Hendricks, posted a cryptic message on X, formerly Twitter. "Greater than, sometimes, to move forward, you gotta dig deeper. Proud of you, Blake." Fans are now speculating that Shelton may be on the verge of releasing his most personal and risky project yet. The voice that keeps surprising. It's easy to forget that Blake Shelton has been a staple of the country scene for over 2 decades. From the achingly nostalgic Austin to the rowdy charm of Boys Round Here, he's rarely strayed too far from the friendly, laid-back vibe fans have come to expect. But if last night's performance proved anything, it's that Blake Shelton isn't finished evolving. "This might be the first time in years I felt everything while listening to him sing," said Julia Rivera, a fan who's followed Shelton since 2001. "He wasn't just performing, he was telling something. Something real." What happens now? As buzz builds online and fans wait for a possible album announcement, one thing is clear. Blake Shelton has once again found a way to surprise everyone. Whether it's coaching hopeful singers on The Voice, dropping chart-topping singles, or popping up unannounced on legendary stages, Shelton has always known how to keep us watching and listening. But this time, it's not just the music that's got our attention. It's the man behind it. The one who dares to sound different.